My name's Samuel. My friends call me Sam. I have an elder brother named Joseph. We never met our dad, and Mom passed away a few years ago. Joseph worked in a local garage until the coronavirus outbreak took place. Needless to say, he lost his job. We would have starved if not for our grandparents leaving money for us. The house we lived in belonged to them as well. I'm currently in junior high, and Joseph was about to finish high school until the lockdown took place and changed our lives forever. Everyone accepted quarantine and locked themselves inside their houses. Joseph and I spent our days doing house chores, playing board games, or watching movies. The house we lived in was quite old, especially the basement. It was so dark and dingy that I hated going there. But Joseph would send me to do laundry, even if he knew I was scared of the basement. Maybe he wanted me to conquer the fear this way. Anyways, it was a rainy Monday afternoon. Daylight hid behind the dark clouds in the sky. I woke up hearing the sound of a thunderstorm outside. I was coming down from the stairs when my eyes went to the floor. I saw muddy footprints started from the main door and stopped right in front of the basement door. The hair on the back of my neck stood up. The main door was wide open, and so was the basement door. Joseph went to buy groceries for storage, so I knew I was supposed to be the only one in the house. A gust of wind slammed the main door, and it closed, making a loud thud. My heart started to beat like a wild horse. I grabbed an umbrella from the stand and walked towards the basement to check. I stood in front of the basement. The basement was dark as hell. I heard sounds down there. Oh my God, there's an intruder in my house. Suddenly, I heard footsteps coming upstairs. I quickly stood against the wall and waited for the stranger to get out. The footsteps were coming closer and closer. As soon as I saw a foot stepping outside the basement, I swung the umbrella in full speed, hitting the man in the head. Damn it! What the hell is wrong with you, Sam? Joe! It's you. I'm so sorry. I saw the muddy footprints and thought someone broke in. Yeah, right. By unlocking the main door? I remembered my brother locked the door before going out. I felt dumb for freaking out like a toddler. Joseph made me clean the entire floor for hitting him. After finishing the mopping on the floor, I went to the basement to keep the equipment. The sound of a thunderstorm made the basement even creepier this time. I tried the lights, but they didn't switch on. Every time the lightning sparked, I could see the basement. So I figured out my way using the flash of lightning. There's a washing machine on my left and shelves to keep our things at my right. I went there and placed the mop in the bucket. I looked around one more time when suddenly, lightning flashed and I heard a groaning sound. The sound was scary as hell, and without wasting a single second, I ran upstairs. Joe, there's a ghost in the basement! I'm telling you, there's something wrong with our basement! You get scared at everything, huh? Fine. I'll keep it locked from now on, and you don't have to go there anymore. I'll do the laundry. Happy? I felt some relief that finally Joseph agreed to let me stay out of that place. But the more time passed, weird things started to happen. One night, I went to the kitchen to drink water when I heard a sobbing sound coming from the basement, as if someone was in pain. The cry went on for a few minutes, then stopped all of a sudden. I went close to the basement door and twisted the doorknob to open it. Sam, what the hell are you doing here this late? I turned around and saw my brother was standing behind me with a surprised look on his face. I just heard a sound from the basement. I think you should go check it. Stop making these silly stories, Sam. I've had enough about the basement. Just go to your room and sleep. I knew if I argued more with Joe, he would get furious, so I shrugged it off and went back to bed. The next morning, Joe went out to get a few things on his own. This was my chance to search the basement and driving away from my fear of the unknown. But as I tried to open the door, I found it locked, which seemed weird to me because there was no reason to lock the basement door. I thought Joe may have locked it so that I don't get scared going down there out of curiosity. But with time, my brother's behavior started to change drastically. At night, I could hear him talking. I saw him going in and out of the basement a lot. I wanted to ask him what was going on, but didn't have the courage. One night, Joe and I watched football after dinner. He drank a lot of beers and passed out on the couch. I was thinking about going to my room and sleeping. Just when I walked past the basement door, I heard the muffled cry once again. It was the voice of a woman. I gathered all the courage and took out the key from Joe's pocket while he slept. I could sense that something was wrong going on in our house. I twisted the key and opened the door without making a sound. I walked down the stairs. My heart was beating heavily. The basement was dark, and I turned on the flashlight that I brought with me. The basement was the same like last time, except there was a bumpy cloth lying right in the corner. I could tell that there was something underneath the damn cloth, and it was moving. Oh my god, what is that? As soon as I uttered those words, the thing underneath the cloth started to move again. I heard the muffled cry one more time. I tiptoed towards it even though I was extremely scared, and I grabbed the cloth and removed it in one go. A girl was lying on the floor. Her hands and legs were tied, and her mouth was taped as well. She looked at me with terrified eyes. Her stare was asking for help. I was out of my mind. Did Joe keep you here all this time? The girl nodded her head frantically. I couldn't believe my brother could do something like this. I realized that I had to save her and stop my brother before he could hurt her more. I silently walked upstairs again to call the cops. Joe was sleeping in the same manner on the couch. I dialed 911 from his cell phone and told them to come quickly. I then rushed back to the basement. Don't worry, I've called the cops. They'll be here soon. I got busy untying the poor girl. She was of my brother's age. When I removed the duct tape from her mouth, I finally was able to recognize her. She studies in our school. I've seen her many times in the cafeteria. I had no idea Joe knew her because he never talked to any girls. Not that I know of. Sam! What are you doing? I heard Joe's voice behind me. He was burning in anger. Joe, this isn't right. You can't torture her like this. Why did you bring her here? I'm not torturing her. I love her. She just doesn't realize that. She needs time to accept my love, you know? Then we can all stay happy, like a family. Isn't it, Nina? Joe looked at the girl and smiled in a very freaky way. For a moment, I felt this man wasn't my brother. This is someone else. No, you're keeping her against her will. That's not right. Shut up! You don't tell me what's right. I'm your eldest brother, and you do exactly what I tell you to. Now go to your room and leave Nina alone. No, please don't leave me with him. Please do not leave me here. Nina grabbed my hand tightly and pleaded with me to not leave her there. I don't know how I got the courage, but I looked at Joe with determined eyes and said, No, I'm not leaving her with you. The cops will be here soon. I must stop you before you make another mistake, Joe. What? You called the cops? Holy shit, why did you do that? Joe ran upstairs like a timid cat. I ran behind him to stop him, but he escaped. When the cops came and found Nina in our basement, they informed her parents. My brother abducted her on her way home from school. Nina's parents appreciated me for standing against my brother, helping her to get back to her family. I've been put into foster care. The cops are still searching for my brother. I just want to give him a message. Joe, if you're watching this, please surrender yourself to the cops. I know they'll punish you for what you did, but it'll be better to get over this incident than run away from it your entire life. Please come back. You're the only family I have.